I don't know how I'm gonna tell the
out of there. Do we have anything?
I think like Alan and Lynn have done it.
I'm a social worker. I've picked up kids.
The kids need to be picked up on
exactly.
Friday.
Right.
And so when I came and they said they'd spoken to the Grossmans,
Yeah.
I was like, I'll get the kids. I'm a
Right.
social worker. I've picked up kids that don't know me before, but
Right.
I think especially given
I
this.
gave them your name and Lynn's name and
Right.
said, I think like Alan and Lynn have done it. Like when Danny had his back surgery, Alan and Lynn did it before. So because I was out of town,
and
so
they
like
have,
they've done it before. They've got 4 kids, so it can.
I have. You're gonna be here for a while. You want me to
I think
sit?
so.
So, like, I might have a blanket in my car or something.
Do we have anything
Do you have
here, or have
something
they all
for
been used?
somebody who could get?
Let me check.
This
see
woman
if I
is
have one that's good enough
freezing.
for her.
And I apologize. I thought about that when she was shivering earlier, but I guess got a lot of stuff going
No,
on.
there's clearly there's a
not
there's
really
a
the most
it
important
isn't
thing
it's
right
not
now.
the most important thing.
No. I saw her shivering, and I kept thinking I'll go out and find out if they had a bunch of them. They had a bunch of them, but I don't know what's still available.
So what do you mean he's not good? What do you know about this?
I don't think he's gonna make it.
Oh my god. Really? Clearly there's a
not
there's
really
a
the most
it
important
isn't
thing
it's
right
not
now.
the most important thing.
No. I saw her shivering, and I kept thinking I'll go out and find out if they had a bunch of them. They had a bunch of them, but I don't know what's still available.
So what do you mean he's not good? What do you know about this?
I don't think he's gonna make it.
Oh my god. Really?
I don't know how I'm gonna tell the kids. I don't know how I'm gonna tell the kids.
Really?
I don't know how I'm gonna tell the kids.
Let's put that on.
That would be great. Thank you.
Thanks.
You really know that? You know that?
What's that? I'm sorry.
You know?
What's that? I'm sorry.
You know that they don't think he's gonna make it through this? Oh, really?
You're not gonna make it.
He's a TMH right now?
I was asking because I thought maybe he would, and I wanted
Right.
I wanted the kids to be with him if like he was okay.
Okay. Oh, God. And he has family and stuff at the hospital or something?
No.
Don't have any family here.
No, it's-
Right, I know, but I mean,
There's no family here.
They don't,
girlfriend, anybody come down? Nothing?
Amy, I don't know if Amy knows yet. I don't have Amy's phone number.
Amy's on
Oh.
Facebook.
I'll contact her later.
She's on Facebook. I mean, she can be found.
Yeah. I was thinking of one more thing. This is really tangential, but his friend I told you about, Matt Price,
Right.
his wife's brother was killed. So if you're going to call someone first, Matt's going to lose it. So
I don't intend on calling Matt. I just
Okay.
need to have the background on different associates and friends and so
Right.
Yeah.
forth. You know, my objective is to find out who did this. So, based on what you've told me, I'm going to take that information, compile it with other information that other investigators have worked on, and we'll see where it leads.
okay.
Now, I'm not saying anybody that you told me about is any way involved.
Is there
I
any
don't know.
sign of stuff being stolen from the house?
I can't discuss that.
Okay.
So,
But you are discussing that you don't think he's going to live. I mean,
I'm telling you a fact that I know he's not going to live. He's not going to live. Okay. So,
Is he dead? No.
well, I already discussed that with her. He has enough injury that's traumatic enough that he's not going to be able to recover from it.
Oh, God.
Did Lynn already go get the boys?
Yes.
What's happening right now is Lynn's on her way here. She doesn't have car seats.
Uh,
Gonna take the car seats out of your van, put them in Lynn's vehicle, and she's gonna go directly to.
like if you
It's.
That's
I didn't.
told you that?
Yes. And they said you needed me at the police department, so I came.
Right.
It was not a.
What did you think I needed you for?
I wasn't thinking it was good news, but I didn't. My thought was that Danny had probably assaulted you. That was my thought.
I think that was Lisa's thought when she's like, I heard there was a shot on Trescott, and so I hope you're okay.
So
The
that.
realtor.
Yeah.
So that was my. But this scenario, which is now not seeming real to me,
Yeah,
didn't
well,
seem
me neither.
like that was not what I.
Me neither.
What I
but
thought of.
I just keep picturing the kids.
Right. No. So there's no point in doing that. Don't do that. So
When Lynn gets here, I'm gonna just ask her to take the kids to her house. Would that
Instead
be
of my
reasonable?
house?
I think
Would that
that's
be
much
more
better.
reasonable?
Is that better? She has a TV. They can watch TV.
Yeah,
I know, but
Yes.
they've been there before.
A
Yeah.
bunch.
Yeah,
they're
take them
very
there.
comfortable there.
Do they
Take
have
them there.
children of their own?
They've got 4 kids. They're grown, but
take them there. Take them
okay,
there.
yeah.
Because
All right, I'm gonna go make sure that I don't miss her.
Okay.
thank you.
Lynn Grossman, right?
Mhm. Oh, this is Sarah, by the way.
Hi, sir. Are you a victim advocate?
I am.
I said you used to be a victim advocate. Was I
That's
right?
not true. Yeah, I've done lots of stuff like that.
I recognize your name, and then she explained.
What's your last name?
Latour. I've only been here about.
Right.
Who would have done this?
I have just
And
one
are they
idea.
going to come after my kids? Or me? Who's next?
Is Jeff this much of a lunatic?
I don't even think of Jeff. I hope to God not.
Let me ask who Jeff is.
Yeah, of
Yeah, I
course.
think you should. I think Wendy's been seeing a guy called Jeff
Who's a friend of
Us.
Jane's. And
who's jealous.
yeah.
Are you still currently seeing him, or just something you kind of
Well,
let taper off?
it's been a bad week.
Okay.
Yeah, Jane and I actually went for a walk together Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, early this week.
Earlier this week, but you've taken a 1 week break from
I took
Jeff.
a 1 week break from communication with Jeff to figure out what to do.
Okay.
Because we've been dating for like
A year.
9 months, like 10 months a year.
And when you use the word dating to you, that's my boyfriend, or is it more of just dating, like the casual? Okay.
Yeah.
No, like he was my boyfriend and involved with the kids, and I mean, yeah. And we had kind of a fight recently, and he's been trying to get back together, and I didn't know if I wanted to, and so he actually, the morning that I gave that talk, my boys were there and Jeff was watching them, so I could give the talk. Like Jane, do you think I have to tell them about him?
I think you have
guess.
to tell them about him because that is the only,
God forbid.
the only thing that I can imagine related to you, related to Danny would be
The only
Jeff.
thing I could come up with was like his girlfriend Amy is recently divorced, separated, not really divorced. Like,
Sure. So
what if-
either of those people.
Like the jealous boyfriend types, like what if the ex-husband...
Right, totally. And you know that this divorce has been very stressful, and Jeff has been very stressed out by the stressfulness of your divorce.
I mean, I'll tell them this, right? Like, can you tell them?
And when Investigator Isom comes back, you guys can just, say, and he'll ask all the questions that investigators ask that I don't think of very often because I'm a victim advocate and I don't think of
Right,
things.
but I think you do have to tell about him.
Yeah, I wasn't...
You weren't
Not
thinking
telling
of him.
on purpose.
No, I'm
It's-
sure.
yeah.
I'm sure.
What's the magic behind the no-pierce earrings that even Melissa McCarthy couldn't resist? You must have heard of the two.
I wasn't thinking of it.
No.
I mean, what am I mean, I'll tell them this, right? Like, can you tell them?
And when investigator Isom comes back, you guys can just, say, and he'll ask all the questions that investigators ask that I don't think of very often because I'm a victim advocate and I don't think of
Right,
things.
but I think you do have to tell about him.
Yeah, I wasn't.
You weren't
Not
thinking
telling
of him.
on purpose.
No, I'm sure.
Yeah.
I'm sure.
I wasn't thinking of it. I just kept thinking, like, who in the world?
Is he someone that has, access to?
He's a professor of social work.
Okay.
He's
All right.
former military.
Yeah.
But I mean,
But he's
you don't think about this guy as like, oh, there's the kind of guy.
Right.
I mean, I would more just as like say that maybe you did this.
Right.
It's just relationally, he's jealous.
Right.
Something is bad. This or that. I'm
Something is bad.
I'm
Yeah.
just assuming that this isn't true for the moment, but I guess that's not so.
And you have to look at it this way. Telling them this, if anything, will help them disqualify Jenny.
Right. That's
Yeah.
important to do.
Yeah, of course. Do you want to give them his number?
I don't. I mean,
So we can-
I can give them.
They have
I
my
give them-
phone, so-
they certainly have a ton of stuff from him. So I googled Trescott shooting.
Thank you for being here. So you Googled Trescott shooting, and what do you see?
Just that police investigate shooting on Trescott Drive.
And it's on the news.
And unfortunately, the media here tends to get places, and they can't really stop them from being outside.
How often is there a shooting in like northeast Tallahassee, right?
On Trescott Drive,
On
not so
Trescott?
often.
This is what I can't figure out. How did he get to the hospital? Like, did he call 911?
A neighbor, according to WCTV, here.
And this should be said, the police department won't release his name until they notify
The family.
family. And that being in Canada puts a little bit more of a wrench into our notification because it's a little bit more difficult to do internationally. But
God.
we're in the process.
And there's really, his injuries are really terrible.
The police got notified because a neighbor. Is it a picture of the house? Oh my
Yeah.
God! You can see the car. You can't
Right.
tell it's our house.
Well, yeah, right.
You can't.
You can't tell it's not your house. It certainly appears to
Could
be
be
a
a
house
house.
like your house. It
And they say the 2100 block of Trescott Drive. It must be still blocked off. I bet it's going to be blocked off for a while.
it's certainly a crime scene, obviously a crime scene.
But it's like a thorough. I mean, a lot of people use that as like a drive-through.
Now, people obviously know about this. Danny did show up places today.
I don't know that he had anywhere to show up today. Did he?
Yeah.
Like, did you know? Because like it's summertime. He works from home, right?
Right, but there are people. But imagine if any of us fall off the grid from 11 o'clock this morning. Any colleagues?
That had a meeting or whatever.
Right,
Yeah.
all of the stuff he does over phone.
Right. Well, he and I were supposed to talk about where Ben was going to school, and it was very unlike him that I was the one who had to call him. So, like, he called early this morning. I had a repair guy at the house, and he called early this morning, and I left a message, and then I called him back. I have the phone record. He called at like 9. And he told me he went to Premiere. So he says, I don't know, like, I think he went straight from dropping off the boys to go to Premiere. And then he said, I'm going to do an exercise class that gets out at 10:15 or 10:30, and then we can talk after that. You remember how I had a voice thing? Like, I hadn't talked to him. He was like, I know your voice is bad. Like, does today work? And he said we could go for a walk at the law school, or we could talk, like, and I have this message on my phone from him, which is why I said to the officer, there's no way he did this to himself. Like, 0 chance that he shot himself. You know Danny.
I think there's 0 chance.
0
that
chance.
Danny would kill himself.
Yes, 0 chance. Like, someone did this to him. So he had plans that we would, like, I mean, he said this at 9, like, we'll take a walk, we'll figure this out, we'll talk about school. And then I called him at like 11:45 or so and left a message. And that was, I thought weird, but I thought whatever, like,
And
he's in a meeting.
probably thought, oh good, I don't have to talk to him.
I was really anxious about speaking with him and having this be a contentious issue about where's our kid going to go to school.
Oh my God.
And I didn't hear from him, and I didn't think too much of it. I just thought, like, well, he'll just call me later. And then at around noon, I had lunch plans at 1, and I was supposed to go to a friend's engagement party tonight, and it's called a Stack the Bar engagement. So I went to go find bourbon. So I went to drive to ABC Liquors, and I went to go through Trescott, and it was blocked off. So I went around, and then I looked for bourbon, and then I got gas. That's why I was trying to show the officer, like, I have receipts from all these things, but I don't know if it matters if they're at noon. I mean, obviously, like, I would be one of the people that they would think did it.
I mean, you have certainly the most contentious relationship with Danny that anyone has.
Yeah.
You know, but
They swabbed my hands.
well, fair enough.
Gunpowder.
They should. I mean,
They asked
they
me if I
should.
washed my hands since noon, and I was embarrassed to say I hadn't. I don't remember when I last washed my hands.
Oh God. Yeah, no, I think Jeff is somebody that they should talk
Okay.
to. And I don't know of anyone else.
They were asking, like, does he have gambling debt? Does he have? And I'm like, the only person he owes money to is me. Like, there's no one. He's like, he's a straight shooter, right? Like, he's not an alcoholic. He's not a gambler. He doesn't have a sex addiction. He doesn't, like, he doesn't have any, like, weird stuff going on in his life.
No, he's a difficult guy, but he's not.
That's what he was saying. He's like, is there anyone that hates him? And I'm like, he's difficult, but he's difficult in, like, an ivory tower kind of way.
He's not liked, but he is not.
He's not liked, but he's not hated.
Certainly not, and he has people who love him.
How do his students feel? Like, is he, like, are law students receptive to him? Like, oh, this is a great...
I think there's some that really like his method, and there are a lot who don't like him at all.
So you say he's more disliked?
He's a very
feared.
abrasive guy.
Does he challenge you, kind of? Would that be a good...
He's challenging. He loves to argue, so he's fairly elitist. So like the students,
Very elitist. Oh my
students
goodness.
felt like put down by him a lot,
Okay.
and so they'd feel like insecure. And but again, we're not talking about like hateful and awful. We're talking about like difficult,
Right.
you know.
Right.
Right, and he has colleagues who really don't like him.
But not enough to.
But this is a different, right, it's a
Like,
different, right.
They don't like him. They don't want to go to lunch with him. Right.
No, yeah, no.
He doesn't
this
make
is-
friends easily, but it's not like he makes a ton of
And he has and he has very close connections at the temple.
That's what I said. I
I mean,
said
he
he's
has,
got Jewish community and like.
he's important in the Jewish community, and he's loved, and he's
And there
serious
are two
academic.
Jewish temples in Tallahassee, or just
It's
one?
kind of complicated. There's
There's
Temple
three, at
Israel,
least.
which is the Reform synagogue. There's Shomer Torah, which is the conservative one that he belonged to.
Okay.
And then there's Chabad, which is sort of like, it's not really clear. It's kind of like a proselytizing.
But I mean, I don't think you will. You don't.
I understand why they think it would be me, but
Of course, it would be you. If it's not you, I mean, Jeff would be my vote. Now, again, just going by, likely. I agree with you.
it can't be an accident.
He didn't do this. Jeff, I mean,
I hope to God he did.
I know Jeff didn't do it, but I mean, I don't think Danny
Somebody shot Danny.
like to death. Holy shit.
I didn't even know that he was still living. Sarah told me that, and then I started freaking out and was like, I want to get the boys over there. Like, is he scary looking? Because I want, like, if he's not going to make it, but he's okay. Or he's not, like, I wanted the boys to be able to be
Isn't
with him.
there? Shouldn't somebody be with him?
I know, that's what I said. I was like, he's there and he's all alone. Like, I was like, is he with,
Shouldn't somebody who loves him?
yes. Should I go?
It's really terrible. It's really terrible. There's nothing you can do that I can think of. Wendy's got, I mean, they brought me here to get the kids, but I thought, God, the poor children, they won't know me. And actually, it's probably better that I'm, here with Wendy. I'm sitting here with the victim advocate and now the investigator, and I'm going to get off the phone. I will. All right. Bye, Dawn.
Okay, I appreciate you coming up here.
I'll get out of your way.
It's time to go. We got some more stuff we have to take care of. But I really appreciate you coming up here and talking to her. And
I've suggested to you that you look at Jeff Lacoste.
that's what Sarah was saying. I'm not sure who that guy is,
Well,
but
she'll tell you about it. And
is she going to tell me everything?
I imagine she will. I mean, she's been Danny's a jealous guy, Jeff is a jealous
Okay.
guy.
All right.
That as a social worker, I would be.
Well, let me ask you this. If Jeff is the new guy, why would he do it?
Just because he's, because this is something I wouldn't say in front of Wendy.
Okay.
I thought you said something I wouldn't say. I'm like, I'm right here.
You know, doing the kind of work I do, I would think, you know, there's this person, and then he loves Wendy. Danny makes Wendy's life very difficult. Wendy is currently making his life very difficult. I don't know him to be a lunatic, but he's a jealous guy.
Okay. All right.
That's what I would say. You know, he's my colleague, so he's somebody I think of as a decent guy.
That would be who now?
Jeff Lacoste is my colleague.
Okay. All right.
Are you leaving?
Yes, I'm being kicked out.
Oh,
Really? Really. But I can come get you if you need me.
okay.
Okay? So if you can't drive, it's no problem.
What's your number, James, so I can give you a call?
321-4657. I'm happy to come get you. I'm happy to come get you. You need to talk to these guys.
Can you make sure someone goes to see Danny? I guess they're gonna do
You're
that.
gonna
That's
do
not
that,
your
right?
job.
You're gonna make sure that there's
I know Sergeant Baldwin, when I was out there, I've been talking to her when you
It's
were
really
so they were
critical
working on that.
that he be blessed today.
Oh,
It's absolutely
okay.
critical
Gotcha.
that he see that a rabbi go there. Absolutely critical.
All right.
Okay,
all right, honey.
bye. Thank you for coming.
Okay. I am available to you. I'm going now, but you know,
Yeah.
this is a process, and you're gonna move through it. Thank
Okay.
you. I'm glad. Thanks very much. And these guys were very generous to let me come in here at all. So thanks very much for
You're
that.
welcome. I'll be back.
Apparently they came here. Oh.
I think he'll just ask you some more questions, and they just need to, you know, they don't. And sometimes, you know what, friends and family try to help, but sometimes they can
No, it was good that she
tell their
let
side,
them.
or yeah, and that was good. Sorry, it's so cold in here, and I was irresponsible to not offer you a jacket.
I'm not
sooner.
sure if it's cold in here. I was like shaking from the moment the officers came into the restaurant and were like not
Right, that's
telling
not a
me what
normal
was going
situation.
on, and so I didn't know what it was. I knew it wasn't good, and so I feel like my body started shaking a few hours ago. I don't know if I'm actually cold, but thank you for the jacket.
Well, it's generally, I don't have goosebumps yet, but usually I get goosebumps in this room, so it might be warmer than normal, but I think nerves. And then they said that they should be done with your phone very soon too, and then that's when.
Will they just sort of, can I get an update from like, I just want to make sure the kids are not freaking out. Like, I don't know what Lynn told them, and I trust her very much, but like, is there any way to just get an update on my kids to make sure I know they're okay, like they're in good hands, but I don't know. I mean, just to make sure like they're not being told like,
Too much information at once.
yeah, or just like, where's mommy? I would like them to say like, mommy's at a work meeting or something.
Right, okay.
Like, just something that the kids would understand. Like, sometimes mommy's at work, so they get the idea of like,
Okay.
I mean, they would wonder why is mommy at work at this hour, but something.
Okay. Let me check on that, okay?
I'm not trying to create more work for you.
You're not creating more. This is kind of what I'm here for right now. Exactly what I'm here for, okay?
Yeah.
Let me call her. I'll have her come. So she came by herself, but she had
I for earlier this week we
Yes, because
a lot of the rest of the world going on.
and so I don't forget, because sometimes I tend to do that when you're ready to get out of here.
Yeah.
What's your phone number?
954-803-0079.
Okay.
All right. I was just looking to see.
Yeah.
There's a lot of nothing going on, and then my attorney really wants to talk to me.
Okay.
Did you hear about that?
No.
I think it's nothing. It says we
Your
got
attorney for.
our divorce case.
Oh. Okay.
It says we got a new judge.
Oh.
Anyway.
Okay. All
I
right.
think
Let's. I mean,
talk to-
I didn't know earlier, but apparently you got a guy in your life named Jeff.
Yeah.
Okay, tell me about Jeff.
I'm sorry, I wasn't trying to hide anything.
No, I know you weren't.
I just didn't think to tell you about him. So he's been my boyfriend. We've been dating since end of October. Jane actually set us up, which is why Jane thought of him first. And Jane and I had a long talk earlier this week. We went on a walk together and talked about, I wasn't really sure I wanted to continue dating him. We had like a fight at the end of June and it was weird. And then I went away for 2 weeks and just got back. And I asked him to just no contact for a week just so I could kind of figure out whether I wanted to be with him or not.
When did you ask him that?
Monday night after yoga. I sent him an email Monday night.
Yours or his yoga or both?
I don't know what that means. I went to a yoga
Who
class.
went to yoga, together or?
Like together.
Okay.
Some guys like yoga.
I'm not judging, I'm just asking.
I go to yoga, or I
And
used
Jeff
to.
goes too?
And he would go with me sometimes.
So Monday night after yoga,
I sent him
this past Monday,
this Monday,
Okay.
yes, July 14th.
okay?
I just sent him an email and said, you know, my heart is really heavy and I'm having trouble figuring out what to do. It'd be a lot easier if I just like didn't have any contact from you for 1 week and then we'll kind of figure out where to go from there. And so I haven't had any contact from him.
Was he amicable to that or did he?
He didn't respond to it. I said, I'm going to take your silence as acceptance. And
Oh, okay, you were in person telling.
no, I emailed him after yoga. He'd been like, let's go out tomorrow, let's go out the next day. And I have a hard time saying no. And
Right.
so I didn't say no in person. And then later I wrote him and said, I really just need like a week of silence to get some clarity on where we are.
Okay, so he never responded. Still has not responded.
The only response I had is that I'd bought some presents for Ben for his birthday when Jeff and I went to Destin one time and he had them at his house. And so he brought them. I came to work and there was a bag of the presents from his house. But I had asked him at yoga, I said, oh, when you get a chance, I'm really going to need you to bring those presents because I don't have the boys this week and I could wrap them. And so he just brought the presents so I could wrap them.
When did he bring them?
It must have been Tuesday morning at some point. I think I'm not in the office like 9 to 5 right now because I just finished teaching and students are out of session and so I have writing deadlines so I work sometimes from home or from a coffee shop and so I rolled into work sometime mid-morning and they were there. So I don't know what time he was there, but I could ask my assistant.
No, that's all right. I'm just saying, you asked him for them
And he brought him.
on the phone, I guess?
When I saw him at yoga on Monday,
Okay.
I had mentioned to him that I wanted to wrap these presents. I had most of the week without the boys, and I was, looking for something to do. I might as well wrap Ben's birthday presents, and so he brought them. He brought them to the office.
So he brought them even after the whole.
I said no
need some
contact,
space.
but yeah.
Okay. Why would you say? What was how long?
Since a week without the boys, and I was, looking for something to do. I might as well wrap Ben's birthday presents, and so he brought them. He brought them to the office.
So he brought them even after the whole.
I said no
need some
contact,
space.
but yeah.
Okay. Why would you say? What was how long have you been seeing Jeff?
Since the end of September.
Okay. All right. And so since September, you all have been seeing each other exclusively?
In the fall, I was dating someone else too, and the relationship really evolved around February. I post-divorce, so I was kind of slow to
Right.
but so I jokingly used to call him my special man friend, and around February, he started being more like my boyfriend. He started spending some time with the kids, and they really adore him. And I introduced him as mommy's friend, not as mommy's boyfriend, so they just think of him as Jeffrey, and he plays Star Wars with them. And so he and I would spend time together on the nights or the days I didn't have the boys. And then when I had the boys, he never stayed over, but he would sometimes join us for dinner and play with the kids and then go home. And things actually were great, and I was very happy. And then we went to Gainesville together. He's a social work professor at FSU, and he was teaching a class at Gainesville, and so I didn't have the boys that weekend. I went with him to work on some writing, and we had a great weekend until Saturday night. We went out to dinner, we came home, and he just was convinced that I'd been cheating on him for months and had kept track of it and and was just absolutely convinced that I was cheating on him. And I kept telling him I wasn't, and he just was, I felt like not very trusting of me, and it just made me feel really uncomfortable. And after that happened, I wasn't sure that I wanted to be with him anymore.
I'm wondering what brought this on, the whole not trusting thing.
I mean, I'd been dating someone else in the fall, and so he had asked me, did you see someone else in the fall? Kind of once things were good with us, maybe around April, and I said I did, and I told him about it, and he felt like, I don't know, he was jealous of him, and he was like, I don't want you to see him, and the guy I was dating was leaving town, and so I said, well, I want to, go get coffee with him before I leave town, and he said, like, I really, I don't want you to do that, and we had an argument about it, and I went and had coffee with him anyway, and he ended up at the same coffee shop at the same time and saw us having coffee and got really angry, but...
When was that?
That was May.
May.
Like mid to late May, maybe.
Okay. Well, do you think it was a coincidence, or do you think he intentionally went to
I think
that?
it was a total coincidence.
Okay.
I was only there for like 30 minutes, and yeah, I think it just is a small town. Kings
Okay.
Upton.
All right. What kind of car does Jeff drive?
I'm really bad with this. It's silver colored.
Okay.
I think it's a Nissan. It's very old and very rundown.
Okay. Silver Nissan?
Gray, silver.
Okay. You don't know what year or how many doors or anything?
I want to say 2 doors.
2-door?
And I don't know what year it is. I have no idea.
You pretty sure about the 2-door?
I'm pretty sure. I feel like, yeah,
Is it his car exclusively?
exclusively. He doesn't even have to share it with anyone.
Okay. Does he live alone?
Mm-hmm.
Where does he live?
He lives in an apartment complex. I've actually only been over there once because he was kind of embarrassed. It's a basement apartment, and it's off Park Street. I think it's called Victory Gardens.
Okay.
It's like between Park and Appalachie.
Mm-hmm. It's off Victory Garden. You don't know the name of the complex?
I thought that's the name of it. Is Victory Gardens a road?
Victory Garden's a road, yeah.
I thought that was the name of the apartment.
That's right.
complex.
Is it closer to Park Avenue, or is it closer to, or is it halfway down?
It's if you turn left, if you're on Park and you're heading towards downtown, if you turn left, it's on your right.
Okay.
Who are you?
I'm sorry, I'm Investigator Cherry. I just got
Hi.
a couple of questions if I can
Okay.
just jump in
Go
real quick.
Yeah.
Obviously, we asked earlier about Danny's passcodes to his phone and his iPad and all his stuff.
Yeah.
Okay,
I can tell you one that he used to have back in the day.
yeah, let me have that one.
God, it's the only one I can think of though.
It's okay.
I know a passcode used to be Meraglim 1. It was MERAGLIM 1.
I'm sorry, M-E.
E is an elephant. RAGLIM. Meraglim 1.
1.
But this is like,
A while ago.
this is wild.
I got that. Well, here's the thing. I got 3 kids, and we've downloaded a lot of games on our phones and our iPad and everything, and the little buggers will try to know the passcode. Now, Danny seemed very involved with his children.
Yeah.
I got that sense as soon as I stepped in the house. Is there any chance that the kids
Maybe
may
they know the iPad code. They might.
All right. When we get a chance, can we just double check and see that? Because that might help us out.
Can I ask them rather than you? I just think.
Oh no!
No, you're gonna be the one asking.
I want you to ask them.
Absolutely. They know. I don't have an iPad, but my parents do, and they know, like, what's the secret code,
Right.
so they would know if Abba had a secret. That's what they call Danny. They call
Yeah.
him Abba. They would
Yeah.
know if Abba had a secret code, what's the secret code.
Right.
So I can ask them in a way that.
And so the iPad and the phone, if they know.
Does his
Let me
phone have
give
a
you the-
passcode?
Yeah.
Do you have his phone? Yes.
Yeah.
Here's the kid's date of birth.
I was thinking maybe that. I mean, I don't know. Usually people use, like, dogs. We don't have a dog. He didn't have a dog growing up.
Yeah. Well, the texts are telling me that it was possibly a number. Like mine's a number, and not
That's what
necessarily
I
a
would.
word.
Yeah, I would think it would be a number.
So I was thinking maybe important to kind of get that out of the way.
I know. I just meant, like, I haven't seen my kids.
No,
yet,
I
so-
understand that. I understand that. And it is
as soon as I see them and I can be like, does Aunt Lynn have an iPad? You know, does Abba has an iPad? What's his code? I'll ask as soon as I can ask. Okay.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
So that's, is that Hebrew, the Ava?
Yeah.
Okay, that's father?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I know that, like, abuela for Spanish is grandmother.
That's true.
Right, Sarah?
It is.
Do you speak Spanish?
No, I probably should, but I don't.
I do.
Okay. The guy that you were seeing in the fall that Jeff got jealous of.
His name's Daniel.
Daniel?
Mm-hmm.
Daniel what?
Sack.
Sack?
S-A-C-K. He's moved. So he was, he and I actually went to college together, and I randomly found out that he was still in Tallahassee. But he was really eager to leave Tallahassee. He wanted to be in the Northeast. And so...
Law student?
No, he's teaching at the theater department. So we knew each other in college and then lost track for 12 years, and then he ended up getting hired by the theater department here.
But since left?
Since, in May, at the end of May, he moved to Amherst to start a job there.
Connecticut?
Massachusetts.
In May.
Yeah, end of May, maybe early June, something like that.
Is Amherst a college?
Yeah, but he's at UMass Amherst.
Okay.
My stomach really hurts.
Do you need to eat?
No, I don't know that I'm going to eat for a long time.
Okay. Do you need
Good thing I
something?
had that
You got water.
last lunch.
And you saw him briefly at the same time you were seeing Jeff?
In the fall, yeah. I had actually never dated two people at once before, but I wasn't exclusive with either one. And
Right.
so I dated them both until until I realized like Daniel just was gonna leave, and I thought Jeff had potential. So.
But let's get back to this Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
I guess this was this past Saturday that he got mad about.
When he got mad, it was June 28th. It was before I left
Okay.
for Miami with the boys.
Okay.
So, he got really mad.
But what sparked that?
That was what was really sort of surprising is Daniel had been gone. We'd had a month of like really, really great times, very happy month, and we went out to a nice dinner with friends and then got back to the hotel room, and I could just tell he was upset. And so for me, it kind of came out of nowhere.
Was that in Gainesville?
Yeah.
Okay. And that's when Jeff wanted to look at your phone or something?
Yeah. Did Jane tell you that?
Yeah.
So he had said that he wouldn't. It wasn't that time, but he had said, like if Jeff would be over and I was doing something, I would leave my phone out. I have this like old agenda book. I'd leave that out, and basically he said that he like saw that I had called Daniel, and he saw it in
Daniel
my phone.
Stack?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Sorry, that's why I said there's Danny and then there's Daniel.
Gotcha.
So it had really upset me that he had gone through my phone and that he had, the whole time I was just kind of crying. I was just really sad. I felt like we had a great relationship, and his behavior made me think that I couldn't really be with someone like that. And I didn't really say much other than I was just really like, no, I didn't cheat on you. Like, yes, I saw Daniel in the fall. Like, no, I haven't seen him more than as a friend since February. And like, if you don't trust me, we can't really do this. So, and then he was, really sad and apologetic and was like, oh my God, you're the best thing that's ever happened to me, and I'm going to lose you. And I never really thought I would be in a police station talking about my relationship.
Well,
I understand that it's potentially relevant.
so this was on the 28th of June in Gainesville.
Yeah, so we drove back that Sunday morning, and I cried the whole way. We drove back to the house, and I told him, like, my parents don't believe that I can drive the boys down to South Florida by myself, so they like to drive up and help me drive down with them. So my folks were coming up that Sunday. So Jeff left, I had a couple of hours, my parents came up, and then Monday morning I went and picked up the kids, and that was the weekend that Amy was visiting, Danny's girlfriend. Okay. So that was my first time meeting Amy, so I went to our former house, and I was really, anxious to meet Amy and kind of sad about 620. sad about the whole thing. And so my dad was like, well, I'll stand with you. So my dad stood next to me on the doorbell, and Amy was perfectly lovely. And I picked up the kids, and they seemed really happy, and got in the car and said goodbye.
Okay. That was Monday.
Yeah.
And then
I was in Coral Springs or Miami with my folks, and my brother and my other brother came down. It was my dad's 70th birthday on July 5th, so we had a party for him, and I had Skype contact with Danny and the boys. And so after we left the next day, he flew up to New York and was in New York that whole time.
who?
Danny.
Okay.
So Amy went back, and the next day Danny went back to join her, and so he was in New York the whole time I was in. He flew back July 11th.
Okay.
In time to pick up the boys on that Friday afternoon.
Okay. Let's get back to Jeff after you come back to Tallahassee, and I can't remember which day.
So I had lost my voice.
Right.
So I got back to Tallahassee. My parents came with us, and then Saturday morning I took my folks to get their rental car. They left, and I had a cold, and I wasn't feeling well, so I kind of just was in my house all day Saturday. Sunday, Jeff and I made plans to go see. So Sunday the 11, 12.
Look at your phone.
Yeah, Sunday the 13th.
You hadn't seen him since you drove back on the 29th.
That's right. So July 13th, I saw him. We went to a movie and then got some dinner and we're talking, and it was confusing because I missed him and it was nice to be with him, but I also felt kind of like uncertain given his behavior in Gainesville. I have kids. I feel really protective of, if someone...
And that'll be the 13th.
The 13th is when I went out with him.
Okay. That's on Monday?
No, it was a Sunday. And then the 14th was the night I went to yoga, and he came and seemed to want to go out a lot the rest of the week, and I just knew I needed some headspace to figure out what to do.
Okay, the 13th you went out with Jeff, went to a movie. The 14th you went to yoga.
Mm-hmm.
He went to yoga.
Yeah.
But no discussion. Oh, no, you email him later.
And say I'd like a week off. And I'm sure, I don't know, you can find it in my phone. It'll be in my email track of what I sent. And
then basically to Jeff saying, I want some time. He doesn't respond, but he brings up gifts on the Tuesday.
Yeah.
But you'd had no contact since the yoga on Monday night.
None.
Okay. Nothing, no contact at all
No
since?
text, no email. I told him, I said no text, no email, no nothing.
Is Jeff a violent person?
No.
Not at all?
No.
Jeff own a gun?
I don't think so. My guess would be 100% no, but I guess I was only in his house one time. He certainly could have a gun and I wouldn't know about it, but he
Lives by himself.
Lives by himself. He'd never talked to me about a gun.
Okay.
He was in the military, so.
Oh, he was in the military before?
Yeah, he grew up in California. His dad was in the Air Force, and then he was in the Air Force and ended up in Eglin Air Force Base, and he started going to community college and took classes and was really bright and ended up doing a PhD here at FSU and then taught in Arizona and then just got rehired here. Not rehired, but hired. And that's how Jane knows him, is she's doing a PhD in social work and Jeff is a professor in social work.
Okay. Mm-hmm. I want to get a picture just to confirm I'm not talking about the right person.
I probably have one on my
Sure.
phone. And you can find him on FSU, right?
How long has he been back at FSU?
Since August.
And you all met through Jane?
Yeah. No, I just have pictures of my kids. Yeah. And this is from my dad's 70th birthday with my mom and dad and my boys and me.
Wow.
And they're super cute.
Very nice.
He's a young 70. always have blue eyes. Danny has blue eyes too. He's low control. Supposed to go to this park tonight. It's like a stock. Into the liquor store. I tried him back again. We talked for a few minutes. Connection cut out again, and I was like, I'm at lunch. I'll just call him back later.
Okay. When you went to the liquor store, did you already know what you're going to get, or you had to?
Yeah, I had the name of. I don't know bourbon, but I was supposed to go to this party tonight. It's like a stock bar party, and so I asked my friend what do they like, and she wrote down the name of the type of bourbon. So I went in the store to get Bulleit bourbon. And so I asked the guy in the store, like, where's your bourbon? And so he showed it to me, and I found it. And it was on
Okay, so
sale.
you just went. He pointed out where the bourbon was.
Yeah.
And you go there and you just grab the brand that's familiar by the name.
Yeah, that's what they said they wanted. So.
Okay, so you didn't discuss with the clerk whether this good, whether it's bad.
The only thing I said I discussed is I walked over and he was like, "Can I see your ID?" And I was like, "Oh, why are you laughing? I could be 18." I was like, and so I was like, "I love to be asked how old I am." I'm like, "I'm old as dirt. Here you go." And so I handed it to him, and he's like, "You're not old."
Okay.
So anyway, we had like a little banter, and he was like, "Your eyes are so blue," and I was like, "Thank you." And then I left. And so, yeah.
Will you put his name underneath there, please?
This is so creepy.
Just print his name.
That looks like him as a student. I wonder if that's like.
Oh, will you sign it as you're saying that's who Jeff Lacoste is?
Do you want me to like?
Just sign your name and the date.
Okay.
Okay. I just want to confirm
Okay.
who this person is.
Yeah.
Call your folks.
Okay.
All signs of what everyone's telling you. I mean, when they start talking, sorry to be blunt, organ donation.
I know that's not really.
He's kind of.
Okay, so I just want to tell them what happened and that I need them here.
And they're gonna come up here
and the
probably.
kids are fine.
Mhm. And let them know, when they ask, say the kids are with Lynn and Alan. I'm gonna probably be seeing them relatively soon.
I will, right? I'll be out of here soon. Yeah. Okay.
I know it's
It's
probably
so
you're in
creepy
like
to see Jeff's picture. Like it looked like a weird mugshot. Like it's. Can you? Oh, dear God. Okay.
nervous.
No, I just I think it's a shock reaction. You know, right? Shock reaction.
Yeah. Oh, and I'm a shaker when I get upset. So yeah.
I don't usually shake. I really don't. Okay, here goes. This is. I mean, whatever. I mean, obviously this is more important. So if you need my computer, you can have my computer, and I just won't work for a little while. That's all.
Do you have it backed up somewhere?
It's backed up to there's a drive
Hard drive?
into the
External
law
hard drive?
school. No, not an external, but the law school has a server that,
Okay.
or I don't.
You can work off of it in the Love building or something.
I mean, I don't think I'm going to be going back to
I
work.
understand.
So you can have my computer if you need it, and I'll figure out what to do. Okay.
You get it back.
Okay.
This email to Jeff
And then-
on the 14th. What I haven't looked at any of that stuff.
Yeah. I could probably find it for you, in my. Well, I'm just saying,
Yeah.
if we stop at my house, I can
Yeah.
go to my sent mail and find it for you.
Well, do you remember what you said?
Basically, I was kind of vague, but I just said, I'm having a hard time. My head and my heart are saying two different things right now, and I just would really appreciate if I could have a week of no contact from you to figure things out.
Okay.
That's basically it. I mean, you'll see.
But you didn't telegraph anything at yoga. You waited till after you got home, right?
He was really let's go out tomorrow, let's do this, let's do that. I was having trouble saying no, but I was feeling kind of pressured.
Mm-hmm.
And so I just, no, I mean, I'm a little bit on the passive aggressive side, so I was having trouble with the confrontation.
And then he left and you left separately
Yeah.
from yoga?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then that's when you went home and
I
decided.
went home. I actually was having a conversation with a friend who suggested the no contact for a week just to get some heads, like just to clear my head. And so I thought it was a good idea, and I wrote on.
But I want to clarify, that's because
That's because I was trying to decide whether to get back together with him.
Well, because of the lapse in time from the 28th of June,
That lapse in time was because I was in Miami with my family. So
but it was separation,
there was separation, but I was
only for the trip.
I was 24/7 with the kids. I wasn't like, I don't know. I was just in full on mommy mode. I wasn't like thinking of what was going on with Jeff. I kind of wanted to be in Tallahassee and like feel his absence and be here and know like, am I missing Jeff or am I missing having a boyfriend in general? Like, I just wanted to get some clarity for myself.
All right. When you're in Miami or South Florida, I guess Coral Springs, isn't it? When you're down there, are you and Jeff constantly in communication?
This 2-week period, you mean?
The one after?
The one that just happened? We weren't in constant communication. I'd say we were in communication. We talked a few times. Over the 12 days we talked maybe 3 or 4 times. We texted a little bit. I would tell him something funny the kids did or something. But I honestly didn't have a lot of privacy or time to myself. And so I was feeling sad about what was going on, but I wasn't communicating with him that much.
You're feeling sad about?
Well, I felt like he and I were in a great relationship, and he had done this thing to kind of make it not so great.
How would you describe his actions in Gainesville as far as the coming back from dinner?
Yeah.
Going through your phone?
No, that he did like months earlier.
I'm sorry.
So that didn't happen that night. He came back and he was upset, and he said, like, I was asking about this, like, every year FSU picks a book for all the freshmen to read, and this year they picked my book, and so I'm giving this speech in August in front of the whole freshman class, and he was like, I was going to wait until your big speech was over in August to tell you this, but, like, I just can't, like, keep it in anymore. Like, I know that you were cheating with Daniel. Like, I know that you were seeing Daniel. And then he just kept talking about it, and the way he was going about it, it just felt very much like he was like, I have evidence, and it was very kind of legal in a way, and it just seemed, I don't know, like he just didn't trust me, and I was kind of feeling like that was going to be the end of us.
Okay, I misunderstood. So he did not go through your phone or anything? He
did previously. He had said to me, like, well, on March 19th, where were you? And I was like, I don't remember what I ate for breakfast. And so he was like, well, when I looked at your agenda book, it said that you were supposed to see Daniel that day. And he's like, and I looked on your phone, and like, you used to have all your old text messages up, but now you've erased them all. And I was like, I don't know, I just went through my phone and erased stuff sometimes.
He's bringing this up on the 28th.
He brought all this up,
okay,
of like past stuff that had happened since February.
Did he ever show any jealousy or any anger towards Danny, or was it all Daniel?
He was jealous of Daniel. He was not jealous of Danny. He spent a lot of time talking to me through, like, it's been a contentious divorce. I mean, it's been a hard time. And so he would talk to me through things I would be upset about. Sorry, it's gonna happen now, I guess. So, I mean, he's a therapist, so he would sit and let me talk for long periods of time about how sad I was about certain things or how upset I was about certain things. And he would just listen and offer ideas of like, well, what if you tried, like, if it upsets you that you hear from him so often, we have a parenting coordinator. Like, what if you ask the parenting coordinator to only have emails from him like twice a week instead of all day long every day, 5 days a week? Like, he would listen and say, I'm so sorry you're going through this, and then offer alternatives. But he was never like, I'm so pissed, or, he wasn't.
He never showed emotion towards any of this?
I mean, in the sense of like, I'm so sorry for you, like, this sounds really hard, I'm sorry you're dealing with this. He would hold me, that kind of stuff, but not like, I'm so angry.
Did he ever meet Danny?
Yeah, he met him a few times. Sometimes Danny would be late to pick up the kids, and there'd be like an overlap where Jeff would come, and so he had met him. There was like the boys sang at the Capitol one time, and Danny was there and Jeff was there, and Danny seemed, I mean, I'm sure it's not fun to see your ex-wife with someone new, but Danny he was very pleasant and very fine about it. He was really appropriate, and Jeff was like, you know, they'd say, hey, you know, they wouldn't really like make a lot of small talk, but fine.
Had Jeff ever been to your former house on Trescott?
No,
Would he have any reason to go there?
no.
Does he know where?
I think he would know where it is because I would sometimes take Trescott and sometimes not, kind of depending. Like if I knew the kids were there and I thought I might have the chance of like running into them, then I didn't take Trescott. If it was like nighttime and we were driving back from somewhere, sometimes I would take Trescott and I would be like, "There's my former home," you know, like it's, you know, I would point it out.
With him in the car?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't remember like a specific instance in which I did that, but I'm sure that would be something I'd say like, "Wow, that was my house. Like, isn't it pretty?" Or, you know.
So you never took him there specifically to pick up the kids or
No.
exchange anything or anything along those lines?
No.
What was the most recent time from now, the most recent past time
Yeah.
that you had this discussion about the trials and tribulations of your ex-husband and so forth with Jeff?
It was all the time.
All the time. Okay.
I can't pin down a date, but I'm trying to think of like what the most recent issue would be. I haven't talked to Jeff all week, so it wasn't now.
You didn't talk to him since Monday night, and
Not
you
since
emailed him with
Monday.
no response after that.
Yeah, so it wasn't this week. But I'm trying to think of what it. I mean, there were always things like when he first started dating Amy, he would Skype from bed with Amy, and so I would talk to him about that. Of like, I don't think this is that appropriate. Like he's Skyping, you know, from bed. You and I would never do that. But I think that was more like a month ago. What was the last?
I just wondered if there was anything recently that kind
There
of
was nothing
sparked.
like a huge thing of like, oh, I can't believe he did X, Y, or Z. And in fact, Jeff, like we were trying to figure out the school decision this week, but that happened. I got the call like on Tuesday or Wednesday, so Jeff didn't even know about that. I honestly can't think of a.
Right. Did you have a contact person at this prospective school for one of your kids? Who
Yeah.
was that?
Danny and I both talked to her. So it's a woman named Erin Lombardo. I think she might be the assistant principal there. So
What's the name of the school?
It's the School of Arts and Sciences.
Okay.
It's a charter school in town, and they had put in an application for Ben, and he got picked from the lottery to go. And so they called. Can find when they called. I think it was. They probably called Monday. I can't actually remember what day. They called at some point this week, maybe Monday or Tuesday, Wednesday maybe, and then Danny and I were trying to figure out whether this was a good option for him. And so what night did I was at work on Thursday morning. So I talked to Erin Lombardo Thursday morning, and she said that she'd had a lengthy conversation with Danny the night before. And I was like, "Oh, I'm sorry, you have to do this twice." And she's like, "I'm used to blended families, it's okay." And so he had a long conversation with her Wednesday night. I had a long conversation with her Thursday morning.
This past.
Erin, yesterday.
All right. You did a note to yourself referring to something about, if you want to look it up on your phone. I was.
I think I had to buy super glue.
No, it was before that. It was to JRL, or it was in reference to JRL. It was a note to yourself.
Mm-hmm. What did I say?
He said, I can't remember what exactly it said. Something to the effect of.
Note, like
about,
in the notes?
Yeah, you have a note thing or a date book thing or something.
Yeah. I don't see it. I don't see a JRL thing. But okay,
And
what's
do you refer to? Do you ever type anything?
Jeff. That's Jeff.
Is
It's
that you
Jeff.
refer to it as JRL?
Sometimes when I write his name down, just because I have other friends named Jeff. So
Okay, I'll have to look. I'll have to go get it.
Yeah.
If I'll see what exactly.
Mhm.
I just want to check on that reference.
I'm running out of juice.
Do you drink soda? You can see if you can find like a Diet Coke or something, or.
I meant juice on the phone.
Oh, okay. I thought you were like running out of juice and like.
I sure am.